Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Steven here from Northwest Small Batch Brewing. I'm going to keep this one short, I think, just because we're having massive amounts of pollen right now in the area. Apparently, there's more pollen here in the Portland area than anywhere else in the United States right now. Lucky me. So with the allergies and everything, I'm going to keep this short. It's just a little unboxing video. David Heath recently did a video on this and he beat me to it. But, of course, I'm sure that he got his product sent to him. I bought mine, as usual. So, here's the backstory. I have a small, like 5 point whatever cubic foot freezer that I use for my temperature-controlled fermentation. So, during the winter, I will have like a keg in there. Not a keg, but a fermenter in there fermenting like a lager, and then I can have another beer fermenting outside of that chamber in the house because the house is going to be kept like at 68 degrees, so it's fine to ferment like an ale right outside of that. The problem is during the summer I don't have air conditioning, and so I can't really just ferment something outside of that freezer, that temperature control during the summer. And since I can only fit 2 corny kegs in that, and I can't lager one and do an ale at the same time if they're both in there under the same temperature. Anyway, so in order to do 2 of anything in that thing, I need 2 corny kegs because nothing else will fit. And I was looking at getting another corny keg for that, and they are kind of expensive, for me at least. We're talking over $100 for a brand new one, but Kegland just came out with this new sort of keg that is, well, here, let me show you. All right, this is Oxar, I think is what they call it. I hope this fits on this. I can't see the screen, so hopefully you can see this. Oxar, this is like 5.2 gallons, so it's just a little bigger than a normal corny keg. For people who use the smarter type of measurements, it is a 20-liter keg. It is pressure holdable. So if you look here, I'm going to take the top off to make this so I don't have to hold this awkwardly. Well, first let me say before I show you that lid. So as you can see, the opening's very narrow. It's more narrow than a standard corny keg. This I have predict is going to be very difficult to clean. Or annoying anyway, at the very least. That's the first thing. Secondly, so the lid. This is a great lid actually for picking it up. But it has a green PRV. Now, Kegland does it on purpose. The green ones hold up to 65 PSI. So what it comes with, you can do up to 65, which is perfectly fine for pressure fermenting and for just force carving. So that's not an issue. It is supposed to be made out of a new kind of PET that's, less permeable and stuff. So that's good. I'm just looking. I hadn't looked inside here. You can't really see it. I can't really show you very easily, but these posts come in at an angle. I don't think that's going to be a problem. But normally, I guess you don't need a separate post for the gas. Anyway, it'll be fine. It's just a little, I've never seen one done that way. At any rate, this keg was like, well, I don't want to say the price because it could be different, a year from now when you watch this video. But it was like less than half the price of a corny keg. Now, the caveat is, of course, that they are only rated to hold pressure for 2 years. And then you have to do something called a hydration test where you fill it with water and put it under pressure and look for any leaks. So you can see whether or not it still holds pressure properly. So a corny keg is pretty much good for your entire life, right? So corny kegs are definitely a longer investment than this. But at less than half the price, I wanted to give it a try. Here's my concern. I think it's bigger than a normal corny keg. It's a little bit taller. I don't know if you can see this or not, but it's a little taller. It's a little bit, the diameter is, I think, a little bit larger. And so this may not actually work for me to put this in with a corny keg. It may not fit. We'll have to see and find out. I also have a anvil fermenter that's very similar to this. And it also is too big. I can't fit a corny keg with it. So I may have shot myself in the foot with that. And for the heck of it, everybody's talking about these things. It's the cool thing to have, apparently. Instead of a standard floating dip tube with a filter, which is what I usually use, I gotta float it. They're not much more expensive. You have to get them like on Amazon or something like that. But the interesting thing is, I don't quite know how it's better. I'll have to wait and see how it floats. That's the thing. I need to see how it looks when it floats in the beer. But if it's floating like this, I don't see how that's really any better than a standard floating dip tube. Whereas if it's sort of off to the side like this, or even down like this, then I could see you could get a little bit more beer out of it, you know, before, you know, you're done. But we'll see. I don't know. Everybody says this one is significantly better than the standard dip tube, or floating dip tube. So that's what's going to be used for my next beer, which I'll start working on this weekend. At any rate, I'll be back next week with another video. And until then, thanks for stopping by, and keep on brewing.